Hi guys, this is Quote Guy, and today we mourn the loss of a dazzling and devoted soul, Brigitte Bardot, the iconic French actress and cultural force who passed away on December 28, 2025, at age 91. Brigitte spent the first part of her life in the bright lights of fame, then retired from acting at 39 in 1973, famously saying, "I gave my youth and beauty to men. Now I am giving my wisdom and experience to animals." She devoted the rest of her life to animal rights through her foundation. Without Brigitte Bardot, there would be no modern sex kitten, no bikini revolution, and no blueprint for the carefree, liberated French bombshell that redefined beauty and sensuality in the 20th century. She single-handedly transformed how women were portrayed on screen and in society. Her breakthrough role in And God Created Woman, 1956, shocked conservative 1950s audiences with her unapologetic sensuality. Dancing freely, embracing desire without shame, and embodying a raw, youthful rebellion against post-war norms. The film's sensual scenes and her uninhibited portrayal of female desire made her a symbol of the sexual revolution and one of the most famous sex kittens of the 1950s and 1960s. Brigitte starred in nearly 50 films, including classics like Contempt, 1963, by Jean-Luc Godard, and Viva Maria, 1965, with Jeanne Moreau. Despite her success, she retired from acting in 1973 at age 39, citing exhaustion from fame and a desire for a quieter life. Her influence helped ignite the sexual revolution in France, paving the way for greater openness about women's desires and bodies. In 1969, Bardot became the first real-life celebrity, rather than an allegorical figure, to model for Marianne, the official emblem of France, representing liberty, equality, and fraternity. Her face appeared on statues, stamps, coins, and town halls across the country. She also popularized the bikini as acceptable everyday wear, previously banned or taboo in places like France, Italy, and Spain, making it a symbol of freedom rather than indecency. Her signature style, tousled hair, smoky cat eyeliner, nude lips, and off-the-shoulder tops, now called Bardot necklines, became a global trend, influencing designers and everyday fashion by exposing the collarbones in a sensual yet elegant way. These trends still dominate fashion and beauty today. Countless women, from Claudia Schiffer to Kate Moss and Kylie Minogue, have cited her as inspiration. Bardot wasn't just a star, she was a cultural earthquake. Brigitte put Saint-Tropez on the global map. The once quiet fishing village exploded in popularity after she bought a home there in 1958 and filmed parts of her movies in the area, turning it into a glamorous celebrity hotspot, though she later criticized the overcrowding it caused. She was called by President Charles de Gaulle the French export as important as Renault cars. Her style influenced generations, from French New Wave cinema to international icons. The philosopher Simone de Beauvoir called her an icon of absolute freedom, and she helped kickstart the sexual revolution by showing women as the actors of their own desires, not just passive objects. In short, no Bardot, no blueprint for modernity. A bold, natural beauty icon who defied norms and made sexy fun, free, and French. Retiring from acting at 39 in 1973, Bardot declared, "I gave my youth and beauty to men. I give my wisdom and experience to animals." In 1986, to raise funds for establishing the Brigitte Bardot Foundation for Animal Welfare, she auctioned off much of her jewelry, film memorabilia, and personal items, generating around 3 million francs, equivalent to hundreds of thousands of dollars at the time. The foundation became a major force in France and globally, campaigning against seal hunting, bullfighting, animal testing, and ritual slaughter. France's oldest animal protection group, the Société Protectrice des Animaux, SPA, called her an iconic and passionate figure for the animal cause. Her work elevated animal welfare in French public discourse and policy. A complex and polarizing legacy, Bardot's importance is undeniable, yet her later years were marked by controversy. Multiple convictions for inciting racial hatred through comments on immigration and Islam, and support for far-right figures like Marine Le Pen. Despite this, her cultural imprint endures as a symbol of bold, liberated French identity. In essence, Bardot wasn't just a star. She was a mirror of France's evolving soul, from repressed post-war conformity to liberated modernity, and from glamour to moral activism. Here are 8 beguiling facts about Brigitte Bardot. 1. Brigitte Bardot attempted suicide as a teenager by putting her head in a lit gas oven after her parents threatened to send her to England to separate her from Roger Vadim, the director of And God Created Woman, whom she met at age 15 in 1950. Her conservative parents strongly opposed the relationship due to the age difference and his bohemian reputation. After the attempt, they relented, but insisted on waiting until she was 18. The couple married on December 20th, 1952, in a formal church ceremony in Paris. The marriage lasted until 1957. 2. Brigitte Bardot was married 4 times. First to director Roger Vadim, 1952-1957, then to actor Jacques Charrier, 1959-1962, followed by German millionaire Günter Sachs, 1966-1969, and finally to businessman Bernard Dormal in 1992, with whom she remained until her death in 2025. 3. She deeply resented her pregnancy. During her marriage to actor Jacques Charrier, Bardot was so unhappy about being pregnant that she repeatedly punched herself in the stomach and begged doctors for ways to induce a miscarriage, later describing the experience with profound regret in her memoirs. 4. Brigitte had a strained relationship with her only child. Bardot had one son, Nicolas Jacques Charrier, in 1960, but left him to be raised by his father's family. She had little contact with him until adulthood and, in her memoirs, referred to him harshly as a tumor, leading to a successful lawsuit from him against her in 1997. 5. She trained as a ballerina before acting. Bardot initially aspired to be a professional dancer, studying ballet for over a decade, including at the prestigious Paris Conservatoire. Her graceful movements influenced her on-screen presence, though she pivoted to modeling and acting after appearing on the cover of Elle magazine at age 15. 6. She suffered from amblyopia as a child. She had reduced vision in her left eye due to this condition, often called lazy eye, which affected her depth perception but didn't hinder her career. It stemmed from her strict, conservative Catholic upbringing in a wealthy Parisian family. 7. She had a neighbor's donkey castrated. In a bizarre incident tied to her passion for animals, Bardot arranged for her neighbor's male donkey to be castrated in 1989 after it showed excessive interest in her older female donkey, fearing a mating could be fatal. 8. She inspired Beatles members to change girlfriends' looks. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, both John Lennon and Paul McCartney were so enamored with Bardot's iconic blonde, tousled hairstyle that they insisted their then-girlfriends dye their hair to match hers. Now that you know more about BB, let's compare her to Marilyn Monroe. Brigitte Bardot, often called the French Marilyn Monroe, and Marilyn Monroe were the era's defining sex symbols, both platinum blondes who revolutionized beauty standards, sensuality, and female representation on screen. They were frequently compared during their primes, with Bardot seen as the more rebellious European counterpart to Monroe's glamorous American allure. They even met once, in a ladies' room at a 1956 event honoring Queen Elizabeth II, where Bardot later described Monroe as incredibly lovely like a baby. But their paths diverged sharply in style, cultural impact, careers, and legacies. Brigitte Bardot and Marilyn Monroe were the two most iconic blonde bombshells of the 1950s and 1960s, each revolutionizing beauty standards, sensuality, and female representation on screen in ways that continue to resonate today. Both became global sex symbols, epitomizing the curvaceous, platinum blonde ideal with pouty lips and playful allure. Monroe as the quintessential American dumb blonde archetype who wielded sharp wit and vulnerability, and Bardot as the rebellious French sex kitten who exuded raw, unapologetic desire.
Their similarities were striking. They openly challenged conservative post-war norms by embracing female sexuality, popularized lasting fashion elements like red lipstick and bombshell glamour, achieved global fame at their peak, and ended their acting careers relatively young. Monroe tragically at 36 in 1962, and Bardot voluntarily at 39 in 1973. Yet their differences were profound. Monroe embodied polished Hollywood glamour with her luminous skin, radiant smile, breathy voice, and a persona blending vulnerability with comedic charm, often typecast in roles like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes that showcased her as a desirable yet ultimately tragic figure. Bardot, in contrast, represented effortless French chic, tousled hair, smoky eyeliner, sun-kissed natural beauty, and off-the-shoulder Bardot necklines, and embodied liberated, defiant women in films like And God Created Woman, where she danced freely and embraced nudity without shame. Culturally, Monroe symbolized the allure of the American dream and its darker side, while Bardot, lauded by Simone de Beauvoir as a force of absolute freedom, became a catalyst for Europe's sexual revolution and popularized the bikini as a symbol of casual liberation. In later years, Monroe's life ended in tragedy amidst addiction and personal struggles, while Bardot retired from stardom to dedicate herself to animal rights activism.
In modern debates, some argue Bardot had superior raw natural features. She could roll out of bed a 10, while others insist Monroe's charisma and luminous presence made her more unforgettable. Ultimately, Monroe was the tragic American siren whose vulnerability captivated the world, while Bardot was the defiant French rebel who redefined sensuality on her own terms and then left the spotlight behind. Both reshaped what it meant to be a woman in the public eye, and their influence endures in fashion, film, and popular culture to this day. Brigitte Bardot's views on Marilyn Monroe. Bardot has spoken about Monroe in interviews and her memoirs, expressing admiration and sympathy rather than criticism. Key points include: she recounted meeting Monroe at a formal event, an evening at Buckingham Palace, and described admiring her. Bardot referenced Monroe as an example of the dangers of fame and the film industry. In multiple interviews, she said things like, "It was never a great passion of mine, acting, and it can be deadly sometimes. Marilyn Monroe perished because of it. Good thing I stopped, because what happened to Marilyn Monroe would have happened to me." These comments reflect respect for Monroe as a fellow icon who suffered under Hollywood's pressures, often portraying Monroe's tragic death from an overdose in 1962 as a cautionary tale. Lastly, let's close with 5 profound quotes from both BB and MM. 5 iconic quotes from Brigitte Bardot, BB. Brigitte Bardot's words often reflected her bold personality, her embrace of sensuality, her rejection of fame, and her passionate turn to animal rights activism. 1. I gave my beauty and my youth to men. I am going to give my wisdom and experience to animals. Her famous declaration upon retiring from acting in 1973 and dedicating her life to animal welfare. 2. What could be more beautiful than a dear old lady growing wise with age? Every age can be enchanting, provided you live within it, reflecting her graceful acceptance of aging and natural beauty. A photograph can be an instant of life captured for eternity that will never cease looking back at you. On the power of images and legacy. I have been very happy, very rich, very beautiful, much adulated, very famous, and very unhappy. Capturing the paradox of her stardom. I only want to protect animals from barbarous, cruel, inhuman, and backward rituals. A core statement of her lifelong activism against animal cruelty. 5 iconic quotes from Marilyn Monroe, MM. Marilyn Monroe's quotes often revealed her vulnerability, wit, intelligence, and insights into fame, love, and self-acceptance. 1. I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes, I am out of control, and at times hard to handle. But if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. Her most famous line on self-acceptance and authenticity. 2. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. Embracing flaws and individuality. 3. I restore myself when I'm alone, on finding peace and strength in solitude. 4. Give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. Her playful take on confidence and empowerment. 5. I've never fooled anyone. I've let people fool themselves. They didn't bother to find out who and what I was. Instead, they would invent a character for me. I wouldn't argue with them. They were obviously loving somebody I wasn't. Revealing the disconnect between her public image and true self. These quotes highlight the depth behind both women's glamorous personas, Bardot's defiant independence and animal advocacy, Monroe's blend of vulnerability and sharp insight. Before we go, here are 10 life lessons drawn from Brigitte Bardot's extraordinary journey as a dancer, actress, icon, and activist. 1. Follow your passion fearlessly. From a young age, Bardot pursued ballet seriously at the prestigious Conservatoire de Paris, defying expectations in her conservative family to chase what ignited her soul. 2. Challenge societal norms. Bardot embodied unapologetic female sexuality and freedom in the 1950s-60s, breaking taboos and helping spark the sexual revolution with her roles and persona. 3. Know when to walk away from fame. At 39, she retired from acting despite peak stardom, declaring she had given her beauty and youth to men, and choosing a quieter life over the suffocating spotlight. 4. Redirect your energy to a greater cause. She famously pledged to give her wisdom and experience to animals, founding the Brigitte Bardot Foundation in 1986 and dedicating decades to animal rights activism.
5. Live authentically, even if it causes a stir. Bardot was open, a rebel, and true to what she believed in, whether in love, politics, or her causes, always putting her own truth before what others thought. 6. Beauty changes with a purpose. She went from being a worldwide sex symbol to a passionate activist, showing that real happiness comes from making a big difference beyond just looking good. 7. Stand up for those who can't speak. Her constant campaigns against animal cruelty, seal hunting, and more show how powerful it is to use your influence to protect those who can't speak for themselves. 8. Boldly reinvent yourself. From a ballet dancer to a model, actress, singer, and full-time activist, Bardot changed paths many times, proving it's never too late to start a new chapter. 9. Embrace freedom in every way. As French President Macron said in his tribute, she lived a life of freedom, in art, personally, and in her beliefs. 10. Leave a lasting legacy through action. By selling her belongings to fund her foundation and inspiring global efforts for animal welfare, Bardot showed that real impact lasts longer than just being famous.
Here you go, guys. As American essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "It is not the length of life, but the depth of life." He also wrote, "He who is not every day conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life. Whether you live to 36 or 91, what matters is the difference and impact you make on the world." Be like Brigitte Bardot. Find your strength, live fully, and give back, so you can sparkle forever. I'm Quote Guy. Thanks for watching Top Quotes by Top Guns. Subscribe and follow me on YouTube and Instagram to get 1% better every day and become the 1%. Carpe diem.